Hello, my friends. This is Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching. Thanks for listening to How to Be a Good Mom podcast. That's not what it's even called. Believing you are a good mom. Because how to be a good mom is that you believe you're a good mom. It's the same thing. So today we are talking about breaking the rules. And I'm telling you, I feel amazing about breaking so many podcast rules. Breaking rules like calling it things that it's not called. We don't have an intro. We don't have an outro. We don't have any cute little music. We don't have a I can't even think of what it's called, an outline, a plan. We didn't do any research. I'm telling you, all the things that I thought were rules that you needed to have in order to do a podcast, it's so fun to just do a podcast without following the rules. So I have historically been a rule follower. Whoever with whatever personality quizzes and things, you know what that's called, a rule follower, right? The classifications of different types of people. I hate those. Can you tell? That's why I don't know what they're called or what I'm even referring to, but you know, if you like that kind of stuff. Anyway, the point is, well, first a tangent. I'm like really hot right now because I just started my workout. I'm down in the basement doing this workout video. Me and Shanti doing hip hop abs, and I hit pause and ran upstairs to record a podcast. I'm telling you, we are breaking rules. We're not finishing the whole workout. We're not showering and getting presentable before we hit record. That's why this one doesn't have a video. We're not doing anything that we quote unquote think we're supposed to or we should do. We're doing what we feel like doing, and it feels amazing. Okay, because the reason why this matters is because in order to believe that you are a good mom, you need to break the rules. Okay. I know this is not jiving with your brain. I know you've got all the resistance thoughts. That's what coaching is for. Bring me all the thoughts. Tell me why you disagree. I'd love to coach you on it. So here's the thing. Tell me a rule that you're having a hard time breaking. Kids should go to bed at 7 p.m. Do you have that thought in your brain? Because I've had that thought in my brain for how many years have I been a mom now? 8, going on 9 years. And I've thought for 9 years that kids should go to bed at 7 o'clock. Where did I even get this rule? What has this rule in my brain caused in my family? Nothing but terrible, terrible results. I'm telling you, thinking that this is a rule and that I need to follow it. Guess what happens at 7 o'clock when my kids aren't in bed? Because my kids are for sure not anywhere close to even thinking about being in bed at 7 o'clock. You got to be kidding me. But for some reason, somewhere, I read in some book probably that kids are like babies, right? Or like toddlers or whatever age. They have it broken down by age, how many hours they need to get, what time they need to go to sleep, how many naps they need to have. All of these things are written down in a book. Therefore, my brain thinks it's a rule that I need to follow. And it did not work with my family. It does not work with my family. And therefore, I make it mean that I'm a bad mom because I can't follow this rule. So where's the problem in this equation? And where can we change something to fix it? Is it we need to fix my family so that they are ready for bed at 7 o'clock? That there's something wrong with me that I can't get anyone anywhere close to even thinking about going to bed by 7 o'clock? That sounds so ridiculous to me right now. But for some reason, my brain still wants to hold on to this rule. The kids are supposed to go to bed at 7 o'clock. Like, that's so deep down in my subconscious brain that when I bring it out and I look at it consciously, it's like the biggest joke. I'm like, of course kids don't go to bed at 7. And for sure, my kids don't go to bed at 7. But the thought is still in there and it's wreaking havoc on my life and my family. Okay. So these are the thoughts we have to dig out and keep it from wreaking that havoc, right? So when I call these thoughts rules, that's what I'm talking about breaking the rules, is that things that our brain has interpreted for some reason, because we read it in a book, or because we were raised that way, or because our mother-in-law said that it should be that way, or because our mom expects it, or because that's how our sister does it, or our neighbor, or our best friend, all of those become rules to our brain. And we have to remind our brain, there are no rules. And I'm the mother here. I make up the rules. I can do whatever I want. I have agency. I'm a human being. I'm not a robot. All these thoughts to remember who we actually are will help us be a better mom when we believe that we are a good mom when we remember who we actually are. Okay. So if I am a good mom and my kids go to bed past 10 p.m., so what? Like, what's the problem? Maybe they're a little more tired the next morning and it's even harder to get them up and get them to school. Then there's a real reason for me to want to put them to bed sooner. Not because there's some rule that they need to go to bed at a certain time. I actually want to. And when I want to, then I'll actually do it instead of fighting against some rule that feels like it's taken my agency away, that I have to follow some rule. Does that make sense? Is that resonating? Do you guys do this too? I'm pretty sure you do, because you have human brains and that's how the brain works. So the first thing you remind ourselves is that nothing's gone wrong here. My brain's just being my brain. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And now what? Okay. So let's break some rules, people. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to do anything. If you want to do it, go ahead. And when you want to, you'll do it without resentment. You'll happily do it. Your kids will happily do it because they're not, picking up that energy from you that like, oh, I have to do this. Bedtime is so much drama already, and so is waking up in the morning time, that we don't need all the rules on top of it. Okay, let's think about this. Why is morning ritual so terrible? Because we're trying to get them somewhere that they don't want to be. We don't want to get them there. And at a specific time. Okay, this is the variable that I've really noticed in my life causes all the stress, is the clock, right? So if we have to be somewhere at a specific time, that's when the stress level is just through the roof, right? So let's think about that for a second. Why do we have to get our kids to school on time? Like, why? That's a rule, right? That you're supposed to be there on time. There's even a bell. There's even a procedure for if you're late, you have to go to the office. You have to go. I mean, we've done this a couple of times, so I know what the procedure is. We have to take them over to the lunchroom, tell the lunch ladies what they would order because they missed that part of class this morning. So that the lunch ladies have the number right. Bless you, lunch ladies. The kids like to tell me they wake up at 2 a.m. to get all this food ready. I'm like, oh, sisters, thank you. I'm so grateful. Because I do not want to wake up at 2 a.m. to get my kids' lunches going. So they have to eat whatever you prepare for them. And I'm very grateful. Anyway, tangent. Woo, gratitude for the lunch ladies, no joke. Anyway, so if they're late, what's the big deal? Okay, I get it. They're trying to run a school here. If every kid was late, that would be chaos and that would be terrible. And I absolutely understand why they need to be there on time. And that is why I want to get them there on time. Okay, I understand. They, of course, are kids and they do not understand. All they understand is that they're cozy in bed and they're sleeping. And they do not want to wake up. Any state change is hard. If you're asleep, it's hard to wake up. If you're awake, it's hard to go to sleep. It's just a state change. It's just the brain doing the brain's thing. Nothing's gone wrong here, right? Our brains, their brains are all working exactly how they're supposed to. They're supposed to want to stay in bed. So even that thought might help you have a little more patience for them. But anyway, the reason why we're in such a hurry is because we want them to be there on time. Now, if we want them to be there on time because it's some rule that we're trying to follow out of obligation, because we have to, you do not have to. But if you want to, because you understand why it's important for them to be there on time, then that's a different subject. And that is going to get you different results because you're thinking about it differently. Okay. So this is an exercise we do. We take all your expectations of yourself, quote unquote, rules, and we question them and we figure out, like, if you're doing it, it's because you actually do want to. Because have you noticed you can't make your kids do anything they don't want to do? You can't actually make yourself do anything you don't want to do either. It's called agency. You have agency. You only do what you want to do. If you're loading that dishwasher for the 400th time today, you're like, I hate this. I hate loading the dishwasher. I don't want to do this. Then stop yourself. Remind yourself that's a lie. I am doing it. Therefore, I want to be doing it. I cannot do anything against my will. If I'm doing it, it's my will. I want to. Does that make sense? But your brain, our dear brains, they're going to feed us these lies. For some reason, they'd rather be resentful and grumpy than happy about doing the dishwasher. It's just a pattern. It's just easier. It's fine. Again, nothing's gone wrong here. My brain's just doing its thing. Thanks, brain, for trying to protect me. And I'm going to keep doing this dishwasher because I want a clean kitchen. I want my sink to be cleaned out of the dirty dishes. I want my table to not have bowls of half-eaten cereal all day. I want to be doing this. Just remind your brain, thanks brain, and you're full of a bunch of BS, and that's not even true. And let's just finish doing the dishwasher because that's what we want to be doing. Okay. So we're breaking rules because we want to, because we get to decide what we want to do, not some pre-subscribed list of rules that we've just subconsciously collected from all over the place, which is fine. And we're grateful that our brain has done that. But now we're going to think about our thinking, right? We're going to fire up that prefrontal cortex and not just be running on default thinking all the time. Okay. So if this sounds interesting, but like, how the heck do I do it? Because I'm just used to be thinking what I always am thinking, and I don't even know how to think about my thinking. That's what a life coach helps you do. So go to dropthewordlifecoach.com/appointments, sign up for a free chat with me on Zoom. We'll get on and just chat for a few minutes and talk about where you're struggling. I'll get you some relief right away, and I'll tell you more about how you can work with me. Or you can just jump straight to sign up for my coaching package, figure out a time that works for both of us on my cute little Acuity schedule there. And make sure you put in coupon code Christmas, because we are going to believe that we are a good mom before Christmas. There's 8 weeks still and a couple slots left. So really the coaching is whatever you need coaching on. And I just always have like a thread of believing you're a good mom in there. But whatever it is you need coaching on, if you are really struggling with a particular thing, your kid is really struggling with a particular thing, I can coach you on anything and all the things. Okay. But I promise you that having a foundation of believing that you are a good mom is actually what's going to help you with all that. So I just kind of intertwine it. You don't have to worry about any of that. You just come with me with a problem and I will help you get your dreams come true. That's what a life coach does. It's awesome. So dropthewordlifecoach.com/appointments. Or if you just want to get more goods from me straight to your inbox /www, and you'll get my Wednesday wisdom, which includes this podcast, but there's also all the other goods all together in one place, so you don't miss a thing. All right. Did I say everything I wanted to say today about breaking the rules? Probably not, because I'm really excited about this topic and I talk about it all the time. Because seriously, mom, the reason why you think you're a bad mom is because you have some rule that you're not meeting. Okay. You have some random expectation that's totally unrealistic. So let's look at those expectations, realize that has nothing to do with whether you're a good mom or not. You just are a good mom that has some unrealistic expectations that you're not meeting. And even if they are realistic and you want to meet them, ooh, that's the good stuff. That's what we get figured out in coaching too. So can't wait to work with you. We'll see you online. Thanks for listening. And you never know when you'll hear another one, because I'm not following any podcast rules. These aren't coming out consistently on whenever, because we're just doing whatevs. And it's awesome. And you can too. Try it out. It's really fun. Okay. Love you. Bye.